Alright, and hello everyone, it is me, JBurns, and in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this design right here on the Alpha Loom. So this here is the JBurns J design, and yeah, I'm going to be showing you how you make it on the Alpha Loom. So, to make it, you're going to need an Alpha Loom, of course. You're going to need the Alpha Comb, or you can just have a hook, but you will also need just a regular hook if you do get the Alpha Comb out. You will also want to have the template and a pencil so you can mark off the columns as you go and make this bracelet, which I'll be showing you how you do that. If you do not have the template, I do have it, and I will be showing you the steps as we make it. So if you do not have this template, then I will be showing you it during the tutorial, but you can get this template on a website, and the link to that website will be in the description. But anyway, you will also want a pencil if you do have a template with you. Then of course you're also going to need some clips. You're going to need 7 clips for this design, or for the bracelet. So you're going to need 7 clips, preferably C-clips. And then you're also going to need rubber bands. And there are 4 groups. I'll explain what each group is. This first group, the A group, they are all of the extra rubber bands there in the background. And they're not a part of the J, but they are a part of the bracelet. So there are these white blank spaces here on the template here. Then these B rubber bands, they are the border of the J. So all these black squares here. The C group, the C rubber bands, they are going to be the inside, so the actual J here. So the turquoise, mint, I'm not sure what color this would be called, maybe cyan. Those rubber bands in this example. And then this last group here, they are going to be your connector rubber bands, and they're what hold the 7 rows of rubber bands together. And yeah. So, for the number of rubber bands, go down to the description. It will tell you how many of each group you'll need to make one J. And yeah. So, go ahead, pause, or use the pause button if you need to, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, nothing go rolling off the table. Alright, now I gotta put everything away. Alright, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this out, because I am using white rubber bands. So, all this stuff in the way. Here we go. Alright. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started, finally. And we're going to start by placing our cap bands, which will be at the beginning of the bracelet and are not a part of the actual design yet. So, we're not placing anything that would be here on the template. We're just placing our cap bands that will be the beginning. Alright, so to place the rubber bands, you're going to want to have the side of your Alpha Loom that has Rainbow Loom, so the words closest to you. And we're just going to go ahead and take a rubber band you'll be using for your cap band, or a cap band, and I would recommend they be the, oh gosh, what color were they? The A rubber bands. So anyway, you're going to take an A color rubber band, you're going to place it on one side of the Alpha Loom, so on one pin on one side of the Alpha Loom, and then bring it over to the other side, and twist the rubber band as you do that. Now if that's a little bit difficult, if you're still getting used to the Alpha Loom bands, what you can do is have your hook, get an Alpha Loom band, and just stretch it across 2 pins, like this, just regularly. Then get your hook, take this rubber band off of one pin and then use your hook to twist the band onto the pin. So use whichever method you would like, whichever is easiest for you. But you're going to do this for all 7 sets of pins here. Alright, so now you're going to want to have your alpha comb, and you're just going to push all these bands down, and now you're going to want to have that nearby because we'll be using that. And now you're going to want to have your template out, and you're also going to want to have your pencil nearby as well, and we're going to go ahead and get started making the design. So let me bend this so it's bending weird. There we go. Alright, so to begin, we're going to start here at column 1, which is just this row here with all these white bands. So you're going to get your A color rubber bands. You're going to get 7 of them. And you're going to go ahead and place them the same way you did your cap bands, but instead of twisting them, you're just going to place them regularly. So you just take an A color rubber band and just stretch it across. Don't need to twist it. And you'll do this for all 7 sets of pins. Make sure you have those rainbow loom words closest to you, because that will be important as we continue making the design. Skipped a row, oops. There you go. So just your A color rubber bands on all 7 sets of pins, just placed across regularly, no twisting. Here's the row 1 right here, in case if you still need to look at it. Alright. Anyway, now what you're going to want to do is get your alpha comb, or maybe your hook, if you're not using the alpha comb. And all you're going to do is just loom all the bottom rubber bands, which are your cap bands. So you just go in with your comb, kind of move them side to side as you bring them up and over, and then you just release, just like that. And then over here, you need to turn your alpha loom around and do the same thing on the other side. Oop, didn't grab that band there. Right. Now you need to push everything down again, and now we're going to move on. Make sure your rainbow loom words are closest to you, facing towards you. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil, and we're going to go ahead and just lightly mark off column 1 here. So, let's just put a little dash on it. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me just make it a little bit darker. There we go. So just put a little dash on it or over it. But anyway, now we're going to be here on column 2. And on column 2, we're going to start placing our connector bands. So get one of those. And you're also going to need 3 A color rubber bands and 4 B color rubber bands. And your B color rubber bands are the border or the outside of the J, so these black bands here. Alright, so to place these bands, you're first going to need your connector band. You're going to stretch the connector band all the way across, or all the way down one side of the alpha loom, so just one side, across all 7 pins. And then you're going to place the rubber bands you need for the design. So make sure you have your alpha loom words close, or your rainbow loom words facing towards you. And yeah. So here on the bottom we have, or here on the top actually. So here on the top we have a A color band. The next row down we have a B color band. Another one. Another one. Another one. And then 2 more. The last 2 are your A color bands. Alright. So there you go. The top of the template, so this very top row here, is the top 2 sets of pins. So these 2 pins furthest away from you are the top of the template, by the way. And then down here is the bottom. Alright, so here is the template up close, a little bit closer, in case if you still need to look at it. Alright, use the pause button if you still need to look. So now we don't need that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to loom. And here's how looming will be for the rest of the bracelet. I will only be showing you how to, just explaining how to loom twice, because looming is always the same from here on out. So, to loom, you're first going to grab this connector band and just pull it over. Then what you're going to do is take your alpha comb, grab all the bottom bands on one side of your alpha loom, and then work them up and over. Like that. Turn your alpha loom around, do the exact same thing on the other side. Then what you're going to do is use the other side of your alpha comb and just push everything down. Now make sure you have your rainbow loom where it's closest to you again, and we're going to place the next row of bands. Oh, and don't forget to mark off the second column with your pencil. Alright, so now we're moving on to the next column, which is column 3. And this is where we're going to start adding the C color rubber bands, which are the actual J, so the colored bands. So, first you're going to need a connector band. You're going to need 1 A color rubber band, 3 B color rubber bands, and 3 C color rubber bands. Alright, so first you're going to need to place your connector band on going all the way across or all the way down one side of the alpha loom, all 7 pins, just on one side. And then you're going to place the rubber bands you need for the actual design. So here at the very top, we have a B color band. We have another one right underneath. Then we have our 3 C color rubber bands. Then we have our last B color band and our only A color rubber band. Alright, so here's the design a little bit closer, and here's what I have on my alpha loom, just in case if you need to look. Use the pause button if you need to. Alright, and what we're going to do now is we're going to loom. So this is the last time I'm going to show you and explain how to loom, because looming is the exact same for every time you place bands. So next time I'm just going to say go ahead and loom, and then yeah. So anyway, to loom your rubber bands, first you get this connector band and pull it up and over the one side it's on. Then using your alpha comb, you're going to grab all these bottom rubber bands here and pull them up and over. Kind of move them side to side to help you get them up there. Right? Now go to the other side of your alpha loom and do the exact same thing. Ooh. Pull them up and over, and then use the other side of your alpha comb to push everything down. And make sure you have your alpha loom turned around so that the rainbow looms are the rainbow loom words are facing towards you. And that's how you loom this bracelet. Alright, so I won't be going over that again. Now what you're going to need to do is mark off the third column, because we just did that with your pencil. And now we're moving on to the next one, which is column 4. So, for column 4, you're going to need 1 A color rubber band. Oh, and don't forget your connector band. You're going to need 4 B color rubber bands. And you're going to need 2 C color rubber bands. And make sure I counted that right. Alright, anyway. Oh wait, no, you're going to need 2 C color rubber bands, sorry. So 1 connector band, 1 C color rubber band, or 1 A color rubber band, 4 B color rubber bands, and 2 C color bands. Alright, so for placing your rubber bands, first you place the connector band, as always. Column 4 is right here. So now you're going to go ahead and place the bands you need for the actual design. So on top you have the B color band, then you have a C color band next. Then you have 2 B color bands. Then you have your last C color rubber band. Your last B color band next. And your last, or your one and only, A color band. Alright, so here's the design and what I have on my Alpha Loom. So just use the pause button if you need to. Now, once you have the design for the rubber bands you need placed, go ahead and loom your rubber bands. And if I do go a little bit too fast for the looming, just use the pause button. It's always there for you, the pause button. Just go ahead and loom. And once you loom, make sure you push those bands down and have your rainbow loom words facing towards you. Then, you're going to take your pencil and mark off column 4. Alright, now we're on the next column, which is column 5. And that is right here. You're going to need a connector band, obviously. 1 A color rubber band. 4 B color rubber bands. There we go. And 2 C color rubber bands. Exact same as column 5, or column 4. So right here. Alright, so for placing the bands, you're first going to need to place your connector band. And then you can go ahead and place the rubber bands you need for the actual design. So here on top you have a B color rubber band. Then you have a C color rubber band. Then going down you have 2 more B color rubber bands. Then you have your last C color rubber band. You have your last B color band and your last, or your one and only, A color band. Alright, so here's the design and what I have on my loom. Use the pause button if you need to. Alright, and now what you're going to do is get your alpha comb or your hook, whatever you're using, and just go ahead and loom your rubber bands again. Don't forget your connector band. Make sure you do that first. And also don't forget the other side of your Alpha Loom. Alright. Use the other side of your alpha comb to push down the bands. Have your rainbow loom words facing towards you. And now we're going to move on to row 6. And of course don't forget to mark off column 5. So make sure you mark off your columns. Right, so now we can move on to column 6. And for this column, just like always, you'll need a connector band. you'll need 2 A color rubber bands. Then you will need 4 B color rubber bands and 1 C color band. Alright, so that is right here, which is like the end of the, kind of the end of the hook for the J. So first, we're going to place our connector band all the way up, 7 pins on one side. Now you can place the bands you need for the actual design. So starting from the top, we have 2 B color rubber bands. And next row, we have a color band. Then we have a B color band. Your only C color rubber band next. A B color rubber band. And an A color band. Alright, so here's what I have for the design, and here's what I have on my Alpha Loom. Use the pause button if you need to look at it. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and loom again. So get your alpha comb or your hook and loom all those bands. Always be sure to not grab the wrong rubber band. Anyway, once you've loomed, go ahead, do the other side of your alpha comb and just push everything down. Have the rainbow loom words facing towards you, and now we're going to move on to the next row. Don't forget to mark off the column as well. And the next column we are on is column 7. Alright, so for column 7, you're going to need, of course, a connector band, like always. You're going to need 4 A color rubber bands. You're going to need 2 B color bands and 1 C color rubber band. So always place your connector band first. Then place the rubber bands you need for your design. Alright, so starting from the top, we're going to have an A color band. We're going to have another one the next row. Then one more. Then B color band. Then your only C color band and another B color band. And then this A color band. Alright, so here's what I have on my Alpha Loom, and here is the design. Make sure you match this here and use the pause button if you need to. We are on column 7. And yeah, alright. So now what you're going to go ahead and do, loom your rubber bands again. Exact same as every other time, or every time. Ooh, we got some twisted up rubber bands here. Alright, forgot a rubber band there. Alright, there we go. So now have your rainbow loom words facing towards you. And now we're going to go ahead and move on. Don't forget to mark off that column. And now we are on column 8. Now column 8 is the exact same as the previous column. So columns 7, 8, and 9 are the exact same. So you're going to do what you just did 2 more times, and yeah, so what you're going to do, you're going to need a connector band, you're going to need 4 A color rubber bands, then 2 B color bands, and 1 C color band. So you'll need to do this 2 more times for 8 and 9. So I'm not going to explain 8 or 9, just copy what you did before. But I will keep out the template so you can see it. Alright, so before I loom, here's what column 8 looks like. It's the exact same as number 7. So make sure this is how you placed your bands, and make sure it matches the template as well. And make sure you do the exact same thing for column 9. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Go off camera there. Alright, I'm going to scoot this back a little bit. Sorry if I do get in the way. Okay, now I just need to do column 9. To mark it off. And don't forget, if you do have the template, make sure you mark off 8 when you finish it. And also 9 when you finish that one. Right. So there's my connector band. Right, I need a loom. Alright, so once you have done both columns 8 and 9 after 7, which they were all exactly the same, here's the design or the template, and here is how it should have, how all 3 rows should have looked on your loom. Alright, so use the pause button if you need to catch up. But now we're here on column 10. And for column 10, you're going to need... I need to count real quick. Okay, so you're not going to need any A color rubber bands, but you're going to need a connector band, and you're going to need 6 B color rubber bands, and 1 C color band. Alright, so, like always, place your connector band first. And then place all the rubber bands you need for your design. And also make sure you have your rainbow loom where it's closest to you. And yeah, so here at the top we have a B color band. We're going to place 4 of them. Ooh, this one's going to break. I don't want that one. Right, then you have a C color band, and then 2 more B color bands. Alright, now what we're going to go ahead and do is, oh wait, here's the design, and here's the template. So here's how it should look on your loom. Alright, now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to loom all the rubber bands, and to do that, well, I'm not going to explain that because I already said that. Alright, so just go ahead and loom your rubber bands. Like normal. Oh, you can see the design down there. Hello. Alright, make sure you have your rainbow loom words facing towards you. And what we're going to go ahead and do is mark off column 10. And now we're on column 11. Right, so we're almost finished with the design. I need to get another B color band. Right, there we go. So, for column 11, which is right here, this is the column with the most C color bands in it. You're going to need a connector band, of course. You're going to need 1 B color rubber band and 6 C color rubber bands. Had to think there for a moment. Alright, so we're on this column here. First, you're going to place your connector band. Then you're going to place the rubber bands you need for the design. And here at the top, you're going to need a B color band. And then you just place your other, or your remaining 6 C color rubber bands. Alright, so here's the design on the template, and here is what it should look like on your Alpha Loom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and loom. So to do that, just get your alpha comb, and looming is still the same. Oh. Here we go. Alright, I keep saying that. Rainbow loom words facing towards you. Mark off column 11. And now we're on the last column, column 12. And for column 12, you're going to need a connector band, and it rolled away. Where'd it go? Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to grab another one. Alright, there we go. So you're gonna need a connector band and 7 B color rubber bands. And yeah, so what you're going to do is just take a connector band, stretch it across all 7 pins on one side. Then this hole, all 7 sets of pins are just going to have B color rubber bands on them. So it's this last column here. Alright, so here's what it looks like on the template, here's what it looks like on the loom. Use the pause button if you need to. But what we're going to do now is just go ahead and loom again. So get your alpha comb, Loom all those bottom bands. Don't forget the other side there. Oh, oh no. Not today. Almost lost a rubber band there. Gotta be careful. Alright. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is, actually that's the end of the pattern or the cycle for the JBurns J. So now what you're going to go ahead and do is just continue this pattern through the template. So you're going to come back to column 1 and just start over going through the template. So you might want to erase your marks. But yeah. So you're just going to continue this over and over until you have made your bracelet long enough to fit around your wrist, or until you've reached however many rubber bands will make the bracelet fit around your wrist. But yeah, if you're if you're like me and you're just gonna make this as a little tiny mural thing, it's not gonna be a whole bracelet. Ending on these last bands is kind of weird. So what you can do is add another row of rubber bands, another row of A color rubber bands, and then you won't end here on these black rubber bands here at the end. So for everyone who is starting over, you'll come back to column 1, and if you're going to be making this just a little mural type thing, what you do is just get a connector band and 7 A color rubber bands, and then just place them. So you place your connector band, and then all 7 of your A color rubber bands. And then once you've placed those, you just go ahead and loom everything as if you were just continuing the pattern. And then there you go. Push those bands down, and then if you are making this a bracelet, that would have been column 1, and then you would just keep going. But for everyone who's making this like a little mural, go ahead and get your clips, and also get your hook. So your regular hook. And what we're going to do is to end this thing off. So if you're making this a bracelet, use the pause button. But I'm going to show you how to end this thing off. How to finish it. You're going to just take your hook, grab a rubber band on one pin. So grab one side of a rubber band on a pin. So grabbing over here on the left. Pull it off the pin and bring it over to the other side of that rubber band on the other side of your loom. So once again, get your hook, do the same thing on the other side, or do the same thing on the next pin. Grab it, bring it over to the other side. The next pin, do the same thing. Grab the rubber band, bring it over to the other side. And then do this for all 7 sets of pins. There you go. Now you should have all of your rubber bands on one side of your loom. And now what you're going to want to do is get all your clips and attach them, or attach one clip to all the rubber bands on one pin. So you take one, attach it to rubber band on one clip, all the rubber bands on one pin, and then the next pin, get another clip, attach it, another pin, get all the clips, or get a clip, oh my goodness, put it on there. Another rubber band. Yeah, I can't talk anymore for some reason. Just one clip goes on all the rubber bands on one pin. So there you go. Once you have the clips on all those bands, you can go ahead and pull those bands and those clips off of the loom. Make sure you have all the bands on each of the clips. Alright, and then you can take that off of your loom. And then if you're making this a bracelet, you can just take the clips and then bring them up and attach them to their cap bands. And then you would have your bracelet. But if you're like me and this is just going to be a mural, well, now you have it. I think my J is backwards. There we go. So, yeah, I guess that's the end of this tutorial. So, I would like to thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully it showed you how to make the JBurns J design on your Alpha Loom successfully, and hopefully now you have it and you're either wearing it or you're just enjoying it and it's kind of cool and stuff. But yeah, I am working on making my tutorials shorter, so the more I practice making Alpha Loom tutorials, the shorter they will end up being. But yeah, so anyway, if you would like to get this template here, there is a website you can go and download it from, and it will be linked down in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's all I have to say for this tutorial, other than thanks for watching and bye!